There we go. Okay, so I have V-Ray loaded, which is another thing that's really easy to do. And I'll be walking through that as well in the course coming up. So let's see here. First, let's just test and see what we have right out of the box. Okay, so I'm gonna hit play. Okay. So this is kind of out of the box what you get when you turn on V-Ray and you have your SketchUp model done. All right. So it's really dark, and all we need to do to make this pop is come over here, set this to 100. So if we set the sunlight, all we have is one light in the whole scene, and we set this light, and immediately we're getting much better results. Really like realistic stuff. Another way to get realism at this stage was to use the V-Ray textures. So V-Ray is really cool because it comes with all of its own, like a library of great stuff. This is V-Ray's library. And if I go to all, let me go further back. It's got vegetation, people, HDRI skies, so you can get some really cool stuff looking outside that help to light your inside. Vehicles, lighting, so lots of great little fixtures to use. I don't know necessarily if they're sourceable, so that's always a challenge, is to make sure that you can actually find these things for your clients once they are in the scene. But if you're just staging, it's a great place to really quickly build things up. All right, so there you go. We got one light in the scene, and we're getting great results. Unlike Podium, where you kind of got to put a bunch of lights around to fake it. So let me dive back into the settings, and we can play with the sunlight a little bit more. Again, I haven't used all of this stuff, but I'm making my way through it, and I really haven't needed to use much of it. If you guys have questions about V-Ray, please let me know. Here's the sky section where you can kind of change. They have like the sky is already pre-built in, so you can change the look of the sky. You can change the brightness of it just based on, these are HDRI images. Overcast, you kind of get an idea of what's going on up here. And this is where you play with color intensity. So again, you could choose a sky. You might not like the color you're getting on the inside, so you might want more of like a warmer look. You could just move this down a little bit. And if we get really wild with it, you can start really warming it up just with the sky. So it's pretty cool. It's very powerful. What's something else we could do here? These are your render settings, so we could change the output. Right now, 1920 by 1080. You can save it out. And so we got lights. Here's the materials. And that's kind of it as far as tutorials. Let me show you really quickly again the bedrooms that I made recently for a client who they're selling frames. So these bed frames is what they wanted to portray. So I was able to get a lot of the resources in here from V-Ray, and they came with the materials already stuck on them, and they looked beautiful right out of the box. And again, I have about 2 lights here. We got one coming in from the outside, one coming in from behind the camera. Like I wanted it to feel like there was another light behind the camera. And then just some small Omni lights inside of these lanterns to make them look lit. So that was a lot of fun on this project. All right, any questions? That's kind of it for as far as the tutorial goes. Again, I'm going to be going a lot further into V-Ray, and we're going to build a whole scene in the course coming up. So again, I'll make sure to share that with you guys. I wanted to show you really quickly what this render looks like. So this was it kind of out of the box when I rendered it completely. And then I just added a little background in here behind the windows. And so I'll probably add a little Photoshop section in the course where we kind of just look at how to add a background. Let's see if I can find a quick black background on Splash. I like this website. Let's try this mountain. Okay, so let's bring in this layer. Let's go to downloads. Drag this in here. Boom. All right, so now we got this big mountain scene back there. Let's see if this works. Looks pretty cold out there. So since the interior is so overexposed, the exterior is going to have to be pretty overexposed too. So I'm actually just going to use, since we have a white background, I can just take down the opacity of this mountainscape. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's quite believable because it's not many houses up in the mountains like this, but always fun. And we got to make sure that we have the lighting. It's always something that you can kind of tell when people are faking it, is if their lighting is off in the background, if it doesn't match the interior. So if the light direction is hitting the mountains on one side, it needs to make sure that the interior is doing the same. So I think that's still even a little bit too dark out there.